In this video, I will be showing you how to do sample number 6, which is called the French seam. So let's start out with the first step. Similar to sample number 1, you're going to cut out 2 identical pieces of fabric, and then you are going to do that at a 1/2 inch seam allowance, but you will not be ironing the flaps open. So now that is where the next step comes in. Once you have sewn the 2 pieces together, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to trim off about 1/8 inch of the seam. So that means that I would take this seam here and I would probably cut it down to about in half. So about in half. So go ahead and trim off that seam. Once you have finished trimming, then what you're going to do is you're going to lay it flat like this, and then you're actually going to fold it the other way so that the flaps are on the inside like this. And you're going to want to try and fold it so that it stays flat. So kind of my recommendation is to kind of push the seam out. You can also kind of like wiggle it. So I kind of go in there, push the seam out, wiggle it a little, and you'll just kind of do that the whole way down. And then you'll need to iron it flat, or just kind of take your thumbnail and bend it open so that it looks like this, and you can see the flaps on the inside, but this is the outside. Last but not least, you are going to now sew a line on the outside with the flaps on the inside, a 1/4 inch seam allowance. So you're going to just do a straight line all the way across. And if you trimmed those seam flaps properly, then after you are done sewing this line, it should look something like this, and the seam flaps should not stick out once you have sewn it. So again, your flaps are going to be on the inside. They should be trimmed. This is not trimmed. They will be about this wide. You're ironing this. You're sewing a line that is a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And then it should look like, kind of like this on the front, and then it'll look like this on the back. So here's another example, same thing. You can kind of see how the flaps are on the inside now. 1/4 inch, and then just the line on the back. So that is a French seam.